Yeah. So what? It's your boy, Bitz and Bobz. Yes, people, welcome to the Kopping mechanism. I'm joined by four gentlemen that are LFC fans, are very passionate about their club, and we're going to talk about what's been going down. So, I am joined tonight by Vinchi. Vinchi, how you doing? You okay?
Good. Glad to be
Okay,
here.
and I'm also joined by my little bro, LFC Sonny. Sonny, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah.
And we're joined by the wise and the experienced Mr. C. How you doing?
I'm doing a little bit better than Sonny by the sounds of things, mate. So yeah, let's do that.
And we're joined by Saint LFC. Saint, how are you, brother? Good evening.
Yeah, no, good evening. Can you not hear me well and everything? I've had to do
Yes,
my
mate,
phone.
I'm good.
Looking good.
My lappy was doing a madness one. Vibes.
No, listen. All right, guys, welcome. Good evening. Hope everyone's well. Good week.
Not bad.
Family's okay and stuff.
I mean,
Family okay?
you can tell from our voices that everything else that's happening except football has been good.
Yeah, 100%. So, do you know what? Let's get into it, yeah? Okay. It's very fresh in our minds right now, okay? Probably one of the best games of football in the Champions League this season.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. As a spectator, okay, I thought it was a good game because I thought that Real Madrid reminded everyone that, you know, they're still a big European giant. They also showed that, I mean, Modric and Modric and Cruz showed that, you know, they've still got a little bit fight in the old dog. LFC Sonny, you are my co-host on our show, right? And I'm gonna come straight to you first because you were confident. Did you see that happening?
No, you know I didn't see that happen. There's a reason I was confident, man. We got smacked. I don't know if you don't know this, but the first half, our expected goals was 0.00. Like, you can't approach a game like that.
But like, Sonny, right? You know what? Like, after watching the first 15 minutes, did you think we're gonna have to work for the goals here, or did you have to think we're out of our depth?
I was actually confident we could still come back into the game, even after we conceded the first goal. Because even going into the second half, when we scored straight away, it looked all right, yeah. But starting that midfield, that was a mistake. I don't think Naby Keita and Wijnaldum should be in the same midfield. I don't think it works for me. I think Thiago was made for that game especially, and I think it's a mistake not to start him.
Saying Keita started, I think the whole of the UK and Europe were shocked by that, mate, to be honest. Why did he start?
Bro,
why did he start?
That's what I said on my channel, man. He must have been doing, you know, the ones where you spit out the chewing gum and do a reverse somersault kick, lands in the bin, doing all sorts. He must have been on absolute smoking practice, man. I just don't understand. Do you know what it is? Yeah, it's not even so much Keita's fault as such. It kind of is, but he has been out of the fold for some time. Been doing, you know, in 50 Cent's in the club in the beginning of the video when he's in the chamber doing the push-ups and they've got all the things on him, and but they've been taking care of him, like, you know what I mean, trying to preserve him for this. He went to Guinea, obviously shagged him, come back. He hasn't been in the fold. So for Klopp to sit there and think, yeah, you know what, quarterfinal, first leg against Real Madrid, go on, Naby, lad.
Well, what's mad is this guy doesn't even start the league games, though. That's what I find mad. Like, we won't start him against Aston Villa, but we'd start him against Real Madrid.
What I say is, why, when we were 2-0 up against Arsenal, we looked like a different team. The was a Mazza. Why don't you bring him on then? Give him some legs then, or so. It just don't make any sense for you to just throw him in straight off. It was mad. And he was dog shit. Duty. So that was.
I have a different take on that. So my thing is this: I don't want to blame Klopp fully for this, but Naby Keita is good enough to be, because the boys had a powerful showing with Arsenal, right? So perhaps he's worried about the legs and stuff. So Naby's got fresh legs, so he's got energy to come in and do something. But the problem is this man's mentality and his work ethic was just poor. It was piss poor. And
was he fit though, guys?
He was fit.
Didn't look right. It didn't look right.
Well,
at all, guys.
he's never fit, is he?
He totally didn't get the game plan whatsoever. By the time we took him off, the game had gone. Real Madrid had won the game by the 40th minute. So, yes, bringing Thiago on got us a foothold in the game. You can't give experienced players confidence. You can't give experienced players time on the ball. Real Madrid it looked like they had more players on the pitch than us. That's how confident they were. They swarmed on everything we did. Mm-hmm. That defeat is 100% on Klopp's toes. Naby Keita should have been nowhere near that. In a game which possession and keeping hold of the ball and being patient and creating opportunities, you need your best ball playing player on the pitch. To sit Thiago in the stands or on the bench to start the game was absolutely ludicrous. He's got to hold his hand on the bench. He got it wrong.
I think let's be honest too. Gini didn't do anything as well.
Look,
Gini was even the worst players on the pitch, man.
Guys, any one of them could have came off. Let's be honest. Any one of them could have came off.
Apart from any of Gini and Keita could have come off 100%.
Yeah.
Any one of those.
Do you know what I mean? So I saw the lineup and I was thinking, why is he playing? You know? I thought to myself, okay, cool. Raiyaan, right? Okay, the 40th minute, like Steve said, the game's done. It's over. You know, Thiago comes on. You see a bit of class. You know, you think this is why you've brought him here. Okay. Now, you still lost, though. So, was there any intent to try and catch them or to just, limit damage?
I think after the goal, after we started off the second half really, really well. We got the goal quick. We had a few good minutes after that, but then they started. I just remember they started to get a foothold in the game. I mean, their midfield just is the reason they won. Their midfield absolutely killed ours. The reason. Yeah, they didn't have Ramos or Varane at centre back, and people thought it might be a weakness. But
they might as well have been injured.
When their midfield isn't letting them defenders get tested, then what's the point in it? We could barely get the ball to our front players.
True.
And whenever it got to Mane, he was just doing bare stupidness with it most of the time. So that was the thing. And I thought towards the end of the game, I wanted us to go for the second away goal because I think if you'd got it to 3-2. It's really game on. I think at 3-1 it's done, to be fair. If he'd got it to 3-2, but I just didn't see enough intent for that last goal as well. He took Jota off when he probably should have took Mane off, if anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, Klopp got it wrong. I don't like blaming him. I don't like criticising him, but he got it wrong with that change. Because I remember saying in the last few days, Thiago's a big player for this game. In that midfield.
Totally.
He's played against Real Madrid a few times over the last few years with Bayern. He's the midfield Real Madrid have with Kroos and Modric and Casemiro. Thiago has been seen as a midfielder who has been seen on the same level as those two over the last few years.
Exactly.
Held in kind of the same regard. And I thought he would have such a big role to play, but when he's not starting him, we could barely string two passes together in that first half. Honestly, it was shameful. That first half is one of the worst halves I've seen from a Liverpool team.
It was big facts.
So I'm saying, let's go through the players. We've already touched on Mane, Keita, Gini. Guys, there's a player that I want to talk about. Actually, there's a partnership I want to talk about. Let's spring in some positivity. I was calling him Cabbage and Phillips, right? Cabbage and Phillips, Are we potentially looking at the new Vidic and Rio? And I'm not trolling with this. The reason I'm asking this, hear me out.
No, but you're not trolling by this. What do you mean you're not trolling, man?
Maybe Vidic and Rio are not the best ones to come in, but they have looked good when playing together. Are these two going to get an insight next season? Or are we just thinking this is a stopgap and then, Konate comes in?
I definitely agree with the rest of the lads. I think it's a stopgap. I think it's the best we've got at the moment. I think they have done reasonably well, considering. Let's not be honest. Like Kabak is only 19. He's coming into you know what I mean, a shitstorm. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a bit,
which is
it's a bit
well
mad,
though.
and he's
done
not too bad, exactly. However, I do think yesterday was a baptism of fire. I think that was the real test, because that's the level that we aspire to be at. Like, what I say to people is, like, next season I'm looking for a title challenge. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking for us to push into the last stages of the Champions League. This is the table that we dine at, and this was the starkest realization that, you know what, as good as you are, and I do think he's good, and I think he can get better, for 18 million, I don't think that we right now can afford to have someone who's learning on the job per se. Do you know what I mean? You could slap 25 million and get someone who's, do you know what I mean, kind of knows what I want, and again could get better. So that's my thinking.
Can I just say something really quick about it's Klopp and the centre backs? It's another mistake. There's no way we should be playing a high line against Real Madrid with the midfielders like Kroos, Modric, who are going to consistently put those balls over the top. When we have Nat Phillips at the back, he will not chase any of them down. He's far too slow for a high line. That's the reason he won't work for us long term.
So, with regards to those two,
go on.
The Kabak deal's looking like 9 million now, not 18. That is, his club don't want him back because of the spitted incident.
He ain't going.
They don't want him back.
He ain't going.
They don't want him back.
Yeah, he's out.
So 9 million is the figure that we're looking at paying from 9 million, not the 18 now. So with regard to yesterday,
Tuesday,
the starting position for the first goal and the second goal, from Nat Phillips in particular, was completely wrong. Michael Owen, and I don't generally agree with what Michael Owen said, if Van Dijk and Gomez are playing, Kroos doesn't even try that ball. He's already spotted the fact that Phillips' positions or sense is all over the shop. So he plays a long speculative ball over the top. Vinicius Jr. gambles on it. Great first touch, goes in front of the defender and tucks the goal away. That's all to do with the starting position of the centre-backs.
Yeah.
So you talk about partnerships. Kabak will learn playing with Van Dijk and with Gomez far more than he'll ever learn playing with Nat Phillips.
Yeah.
In all of our jobs that we do outside of being on podcasts, we have a limitation we can get to. We have a capability level that you can go to and that you can't go any higher. Nat Phillips doesn't belong in the Champions League quarter-final against Real Madrid. I'm sorry. I mean, he's achieved more than I ever could dream of as a footballer. But
it's damning, isn't it?
It doesn't belong at that level, and it showed big time.
Stay. You know what? You're 100%, and I agree with you 100% on that. I think I was on the stream last week, and I think a comment was made that Nat Phillips is actually better than Kabak. And for me, I'm all about the eye test. I look at positioning. I look at how the effort and stuff. I actually said it on that stream. I said effort, Nat Phillips gives effort. But at the end of the day, it's about your ability. It's about your skills. And for me, I've seen with Kabak what Nat Phillips lacks, which is the intelligence. He's a bit smarter and more experienced in terms of positioning, recovery tackles, and strength in terms of shoulder to shoulder, and also speed, just general speed.
Vinchi, do me a favor. Take your headphones out.
Oh, you think that's it?
Yeah. Take it out.
Okay, is this better?
A lot better. Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
No,
so for me, that game on Tuesday was just further evidence that Kabak actually deserves. If Van Dijk comes back and Gomez comes back, obviously we know Gomez and Van Dijk starts, but Kabak deserves to be the third person so far. And imagine how much of a monster he becomes when he gets the experience with Van Dijk, because I see traces of being able to cover and being intelligent to position himself very well, complementing Van Dijk. Now, with regards to the comment on Klopp really getting it wrong, I know that we can see it from that side, but the way I look at it is it was more than one player that fell short on Tuesday. It was not just Naby Keita, it was Gini, it was Trent in the first half.
But Vinci, Klopp picks these players.
But what I'm saying is all these players I'm listing, Mane, right?
Mane, yeah.
Are you going to replace all of them? Who are you going to put? I mean, at the end of the day,
isn't it? We at Man United, we blame Ollie because he picks the players and they're not good enough, right? Okay. From your last game, spirit was high, moral was high, cap was high, and he's went with his team. Now you've all said you didn't understand some of the players that he picked. Okay.
It's really just the difference between the two games of Arsenal and Real Madrid. It's just the midfield. It's literally the two players.
I think that's wrong. I think you're far.
Wait, we replaced Milner and Thiago with Gini and Naby. So we're picking on Naby. We have no problem. From what I hear, people don't have a problem with Gini. I have a problem.
I never said that.
All of them.
I never said that.
I have a big problem with Gini.
I have a problem with Gini. I have a problem with all of them.
But let me stop you there.
That. 2 seconds. Vinci, you're saying, right, you can't blame Klopp entirely. Saint and Steve, Saint, come to you first. Why don't you agree with him, though?
I think it is mainly on Klopp's head, and I love Klopp, man, but that definitely on Klopp's head. And I have some reverence against him saying that it was just the midfield. It wasn't. Mane is not part of the midfield, and he was done out. I didn't think that Jota had a great game, to be fair, but he shouldn't have come off like I said. I feel like he picked the starting lineup. It's how you can't especially if you come off, even if you didn't, to be very honest with you, it's the first leg of a quarter final. But you have come off a win. Like, you're the manager, man. Like, you're supposed to don't just think that don't expect for them to know how important the game is. Instill how important the game is. You are the manager. Like, it's criminal for them to come out and play the half like it is. For you to play Keita and then bring them off in the 41st minute. That's your fault, brother. Like, he shouldn't be nowhere near that lineup. You know them there. Like,
but it's not Klopp. It's not Klopp's job.
It's not entirely
on the pitch.
It's not entirely.
Vinci,
he has a part to play.
Saint Land, yeah. So it's not entirely, but he has a part to play. Steve, just want you to just come in and just either elaborate on what Saint said, and also elaborate on why you don't agree with Vinci.
So, Arsenal, Real Madrid are worlds apart in terms of the performances they put in our last two games. Arsenal didn't turn up. So, as good as Liverpool were, Arsenal were dreadful. Let's not get that twisted. They're absolutely woeful. So, they made it easy for Liverpool. So, you come out of that game, like you said, morale's high, confidence in the camp is good. That system works. Thiago played really well at Arsenal. And then you go and make a change. Whether you did make a change to stop Real Madrid second-guessing your tactic, I don't know. At 41 minutes to pull a centre midfielder off, which contributed nothing to the game. And by the way, going to the press and saying, I can't afford to leave this guy out. He's been doing special things in training. He's a dribbler. He turned up with a cigar and a pair of slippers on and never bothered trying because he thought he could do it all. Sometimes you better say nothing in those situations. Keep it behind closed doors. Taking that midfielder off in the 41st minute probably signals the end of Keita's career at Liverpool for me, and is a massive glaring admission by Klopp that he got it wrong. And it is 100% on Klopp's toes, that defeat, and no one else. Look, the team were poor. There are no positives to take from the game in terms of any of the players. So you can sit here and say it was Gini, it was Trent, it was Kabak, it was Phillips. It was all of them. Not one of those players comes off that pitch with any credibility.
I agree. But that's my point exactly. It's yes, you can't put too much blame on Klopp, but at the same time, we came with no energy.
No, it's all Klopp.
You're right. No, you're right. You know what? You know in baseball, you know the dude that what's his name? The dude that sits there catches.
I know what you're saying. I know who the guy is. I don't know the name.
It's criminal to have man like Tony Cruz doing what my man does, giving signs. And where do you want it? Do you want me to kick a little bit of spin off it? Oh, what? Over there. I got you. Boom. Delivering. Come on, brother. Like, everyone. Oh, that's man.
But we know, guys. Also, in European football. Go on, Ryan, actually. Yeah, I've not heard from you, actually. Yeah, go on, add to that.
I think we need to have a conversation about Sadio Mane because, honestly...
Big one.
Honestly, Klopp is not to blame for his first touch being like a trampoline all the time. That's the worst I've ever seen Mane play in a game, honestly.
Yeah,
and he has been terrible for a long time now. I think he's done, you know. I genuinely think he's done because honestly,
he's done now, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's done, man.
That's a big
honestly, that performance was abysmal.
Yeah, it was. But it's Klopp's fault for leaving him in there when he's not performing. So
that's true. It's not Klopp's fault.
Anything that goes wrong in the Liverpool game, anything that goes wrong, whether it be tactics, whether it be personnel, whether it be individual performances, whether it be anything you want. When you track it back to where the problem emanates from, it emanates from the boss, and it always does. And the manager is the guy that has to sit there and take that on the chin. If you're leaving a player who's playing as poorly as Sadio Mane is at the side, he'd have been better off playing Jota, Firmino, and Salah on Tuesday night. That's on Klopp's toes for leaving Sadio in there when he can't do anything right at the moment. He's trying too hard, and it's really affecting his game. And he's gone massively off the boil. And there's a big question mark over that guy's future at the football club because of that.
Guys, can I just say something quickly? Salah's conversion rate 29%. Yeah. Jota conversion rate 31%. Sadio Mane's conversion rate is 15 %. His decision making, his final third.
That's worse than mine. My good day.
Brother, I've been trying to say this. I'm not saying that he's washed. A lot of why Sadio Mane is at the version he is now is due to just being rinsed. He's got a lot of man did 3 seasons for us. Went to African Cup of Nations, came back, had a juice, and then jumped straight back into he's done, innit? He needs a rest.
Yeah.
However, we don't have the type of owners that will say, you know what, you can have a rest and we'll get an addition and we'll.
But you can still utilize your squad, though. You could utilize your squad.
No, but we get really weak when we do that.
So guys, are we talking about poor recruitment, poor management? Or are we just saying that this was just obviously Corona freak for every club? It's a freakish season, but you know we've heard that Mane should be done out here. We've heard Keita's done out here. Are we not looking at the person who's picking these players? Who's looking at training?
Bobz, you know what I think happened on Tuesday, right? I think, and this is why I'm not letting the players go. I get if you blame the coach. I'm not letting the players go because it's a quarterfinal. It's a Real Madrid game. Everyone's got the meme of Mohamed Salah getting revenge on Sergio Ramos. Guess what? This is a team that you lost to in the final. So you actually owe them a spite. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like you got to come in there and deliver. I feel like Klopp's been betrayed on Tuesday because if you watch on the sideline, Liverpool wins the ball a couple of times high up in the midfield and they don't counter. Instead, we have Jimmy passing the ball back rather than countering. And that's not part of our DNA. That's not what Liverpool's known for. And Klopp was literally hammering like, hey, you gotta go after them. And he was telling Naby, the press didn't work on Tuesday because the press only works if your whole team presses. Naby was sacrificed because if you guys watch back, the moment Salah, Jota, and Mane pressed, Naby was just walking. And when you have one person failing in the press, it exposes the entire thing. So what Real Madrid was doing was they would just pass the ball on the side and give a long pass to Trent's corner, and Vinicius is just having a ball on that side. And if it gets crowded up with Gini covering or Naby eventually getting there, they switch the sides. So it was when you have one person that doesn't press well, the pressing game looks stupid. And that's exactly what Klopp was going through. He had players he told, go press the ball. And we had one or two people didn't show enough effort, didn't show enough fight, and left gaping holes. And we suffered for it in the first half. Thiago comes on, brings in the energy, and it's not just Thiago. You need to understand that the halftime dressing room, I'm sure he's told them, you guys need to actually do this. If not, you're going to get beat 4 or 5.
Vinchi, yeah. We need to remember what Klopp's saying at the same time. Like, he's coming out saying some dumb things. He said like after the game that we lost or it was bad because we played in an 8,000 capacity stadium. That's not an excuse. Why couldn't we play in an 8,000 capacity stadium?
Yeah.
But you need to answer that. I think you need to answer that, you know, because I think right here, everyone's agreeing that, you know, I think Klopp has to take majority of blame, but you're obviously waving the Klopp flag here. So I think you're obliged to have to answer Sonny, because the stuff he said after the game, okay, we know rival fans will be like, what the hell? But like, as a fan, it's quite worrying that he's saying the stadium, it's still the same pitch. There's been no fans all season.
Bobz, Sonny, you're absolutely right. But we know what Klopp does. Klopp would say the stupidest things to cover his players. That's what
isn't there better ways to deflect though? Because what he could have done last night,
it's definitely better ways. Yeah,
he could have came out and said, "I picked the wrong team. This is my fault. Don't look at the players." And he's got enough credit in the bank.
He said it's not Naby. He said it was tactical. Anytime a coach says it's tactical, it's his.
He will never throw his players under the bus. He's not Jose Mourinho. So he's not going to come on and say, Harry Kane was rubbish, so I took him off. He just doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But guys, I think, you know, in all, we'll agree that, you know, it was a bad night at the office at the end of the day. We need to touch on Real Madrid very slightly. I thought Vinicius had a good game, yeah. But I want to talk about something else as well. That segues on Trent Alexander-Arnold, guys, right? I personally thought, and hear me out, and I hope this doesn't come as a stereotype here or anything, guys, but I personally thought when Vinicius went up against Trent, he thought, I'm just going to play about with you right now. I'm going to wind you up, showboat, annoy you, and just keep jabbing at you, probing at you, and you lost it. I personally think his head was gone after half an hour. And you know, he's had the media with England not being picked and so on and so on. But, you know, as our famous Raiyaan slogan or phrase, I think we have to have the conversation of Trent Alexander. And guys, for me, I don't think he goes to the Euros, personally.
He won't go to the Euros. He won't go to the Euros. He doesn't fit in a conservative midfield that Gareth Southgate wants to play. It doesn't work. The only way you can play Trent in an England midfield is if you play Henderson on the same side as him, and you ask Henderson to do what he does for Liverpool. That's what Trent's missing. If Henderson's in the Liverpool team, all this criticism of Trent goes away because of the way that he covers. With regards to Tuesday night, the first goal is Nat Phillips' problem because he's way out of position and Cruz shouldn't even be trying that ball. The second goal, Nat Phillips is out of position again, but not only is Nat Phillips out of position, Vinicius is running off the back of Trent. So he's got to play the ball. He's got to play that ball. He can't leave it. He's got to play it. And it goes wrong. The media have jumped all over it and said Liverpool's goals, Trent is culpable for them. But the reality is he isn't. Not Tuesday night, he isn't.
You see the first one, when I agree, and Nat Phillips shouldn't be getting caught under the ball that's travelled that far. However, it's in front of Trent. So all it takes is for Trent to say, mate, there's a man on your near side. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't say to him.
Yeah, he doesn't talk. We don't talk. Yeah. Liverpool don't talk. We're
but that's critical because it's literally like you need to talk. I get that you just do your thing, but that there, I'm not saying it's not Nat Phillips' fault because it is, but brother, he's under the ball. Like, he can't see that my man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we need a new right back. We need
a new right back. We need right back cover. We don't need a new right back. We need someone who's serious.
That's what I mean.
Williams ain't.
That's what I mean by a new right back. Like not like someone like another Nico Williams. Like not someone like was as big as a name as Trent, but someone coming in who like challenge him, like what Teller's done to Shaw. I know Trent isn't like that good defensively, but it's all a bit of everything.
I agree.
If you're bringing in a right back to challenge Trent, you're bringing in a right back that can defend. You're not challenging Trent. Trent's job in the Liverpool side is to take risks and be brave. And Klopp will tell you that, and he has said that many, many times in press conferences. He asks the fullbacks to take risks and be brave, but he trusts his 3 central midfielders and his first choice centre backs to pick up the bits and pieces that go wrong. And at the moment, the way we're playing with the personnel we've got, that isn't happening. So it magnifies absolutely everything on the pitch.
But, Steve, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Steve? On what you're saying there, right? I understand what you're saying, but as a right back, okay, in any system, shouldn't be priority to defend, to be able to defend. Because do you know, like he's not having the best of seasons. Okay, Liverpool's not the best. We get that. We know he's been microscoped right now because of the All England thing. We know what the media's like. You know, all eyes on Trent right now. We get that. So it's not his fault. He's had a bad game and all the eyes on him. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. However, we're saying you guys are saying that you're not thinking you need a right back, but I think you actually need to really, really consider this because he can't keep doing that. Literally can't keep playing on that. And like we forget, there was a period where Dwight McNeil, Rashford, Harvey Barnes, these guys were actually having fun with Trent.
Everyone who played us this season, almost everyone who played us was having fun with Trent.
They played on him. They were like, I'm going to get...
I get that.
Is that not worrying?
But since October, we've had no personnel we want to play in a back four since Gomez got his injury in October. So basically, at one stage, you've taken Trent's protection, which is Fabinho and Henderson, and you played them alongside him. Defence is a unit. It's not one player. It's a 3 or a 4-man unit. With regards to Liverpool going forwards, we might need to evolve and change the way that we play. Personally speaking, I think Trent and Robbo would be absolutely amazing as wing backs playing with a 3 in the back behind them. So when it breaks down, the number 6 just drops in and makes it a 4, and then you don't worry about what they're doing. You're right. There is a concern that Trent can't defend as well as we'd like him to. But if you were sat in a room now with Jurgen Klopp and you said, do you want Trent playing the way he played a year ago with all the assists, or do you want him to be more like, and we'll use your guy, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he'd say, I'll do the thing where Trent is expansive in the final third. Right. Because he wants him to take risks.
Right. I think we overrate Trent though, because if we really look at Trent, yeah, he's not that quick. He's not that good at dribbling. He's not all that. I just think it's his cross that is very good, which obviously helps us.
It's not just his cross. I think that's a little bit disingenuous.
I think it is.
Steve, that Beckham comment.
Is his crossing and passing?
Beckham would put himself his crossing, you know.
Bob, Beckham wasn't quick. Beckham couldn't.
No, he wasn't quick. He wasn't quick.
Beckham was a very early crosser of the ball, very often from far out, and he always hit the areas he should have hit. And he was a superb passer of the ball and a magician at free kicks. But the things that you're criticising Trent for, not being particularly quick and not being a particularly good dribbler, you can level those criticisms at Beckham as well. You have to, because he wasn't quick.
Well, okay. Beckham wasn't quick, but he wasn't slow. Let's not.
Trent
Wouldn't rely on
Trent isn't slow.
Yes, Trent isn't slow. Beckham isn't slow. But boys, we're missing the point here, right? There's a reason why Trent has maintained that right back position. And Robertson. It's not. Klopp is not looking for lockdown defenders in the wing. That's not what he's looking for. He's looking for players that can basically have basic defense, that can stick with your man, have basic defense, and have the energy to pound forward and deliver clean balls into the area, into the danger area, and get goals from it. And guess what? Trent fits that. And the thing about it is that if Trent actually puts his mind to his game, we've seen him pocket Leroy Sané before against City. He's played.
The thing is,
wait, hold on. Let's not act like he hasn't gone against some bad midfielders to get to the titles we've won. Nobody else has substituted him. We don't need him to be a stopper. We just need him to be aware mentally. What I've seen is that Trent has fallen back in terms of mental decision making and his defensive mentality, where coming back, knowing how to position himself, knowing when to go in for a tackle, that's what he's lacking. Like on Tuesday, he was exposed in one play where he just stabs with his right foot and the man just goes by him so easily. And it's just like, what were you thinking there? So it's that he's got right now, I feel like he's got that mentality of, you know what, I'm going to save my energy in defense so that I can go up and cross the ball. When it should be the opposite. Essentially, it's like, you know, when I'm going up with leisure to cross the ball, and I'm going to put my all when I come back and make sure nobody gets by me. Because right now, everybody's going by me and they're taking the mick and they think I'm a joke.
I think he's overrated, Vinci.
People are not going to Robertson's side. Have you noticed? They're afraid of Robertson.
They never do.
Because Robertson can defend.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, you're right, Vinci. And I'm going to say this in terms, Robertson can defend better than Trent ever could, I think. And the thing is, like, in our system, Trent is, like Vinci said, he is the outlet pass. And I think in terms of defensive situations, he isn't his first instinct isn't defend. It's often to think of how best to get the ball back to an offensive position. And it was best, and it worked best last season because he had Van Dijk behind him. And then if by some miracle you got past that, he's also got Alisson, who's one of the best there. So like a lot of the times, presses do come down that side because he's like, you know what? I'll just let him cross because I know that they'll deal with it. And then I can then be the outlet pass when they go. That's how it's worked, and it's worked well for so long. Now you don't have Van Dijk, do you know what I mean? And now like your centre-back partnerships are changing every week and it's all mad. And so the system is all mad. Let's not forget he was still the same one that broke down 2-on-1, and that would have been a goal had it not been him on Tuesday.
Yeah. Look, 100%.
Like,
100%.
It's just he hasn't hit those, and he has been a bit lazy. You know the ones there, like if I've got a big brother that can fight, man, I'll just call my brother, innit? I'm not banging you. You know them ones there. It's been like that. And now that, like I said, the system is broken down. We need him to defend better, and it's just adjusting to that.
Do you know what I want to ask this question. Is he top 5? Is he top 5 right backs in England, and is he top 10 in Europe? Vinci, are you logged on as me, by the way? Out of curiosity.
On this?
Yeah.
It looks like it.
Yeah, cool, that's fine. I need to go. I'll be coming back 2 seconds, guys. But that's my question. Is he top 5 right backs in England right now? Personally, I don't think he is. I personally think he maybe just makes top 10.
Well, before this season, he's well more than that, isn't he? So it's whether you want to think of a season changing it. I don't know if it does for me, but he's been bad this season. It hasn't knocked him down, obviously, but I don't know if he's outside the top 5 in England. I think that's a bit harsh.
Who are the top 5 in England? It's probably Cancelo.
Cancelo is not even a right back anymore, to be honest.
No, but when he does play right back, he's James. I think Cancelo. James. I don't rate Kyle Walker.
Has James really been better than him? No, James, I don't rate.
No. I'm naming top 5. Oh,
okay.
So Cancelo, James Walker. He's got to be in the top 5 still for me, Trent.
Yeah.
Well, who else is there? That's my question.
Ricardo at Leicester.
Ricardo.
Yeah.
I like Ricardo.
Ricardo's a good shout. He is a good shout.
For the right back position, he's better. But from what they've actually done, I'd still say Trent's better than him.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and Trent. Let's not forget that Trent, like 2 seasons ago, or whatever, was like he was making a position his own at like 19 years old. People were going out looking for Trent like right backs. You know what I mean? So like, in terms of that, like he was poster boy. He's not just had like, he has to. I think it's a mockery if you're not even putting him.
I think it's difficult to answer. It's difficult to answer because all the people that we've just named defensively are good at what they do. They're all very good facing their own goal, defending. We didn't put Trent in the Liverpool team as a right back to do that. He's a number 10 wearing a number 66 shirt playing at right back. So only De Bruyne has got more assists. You know, that tells you everything. But if you brought him into the side for defensive ability alone, now he's not in the top 5 right backs defensively in the Premier League.
None of them have the amount of assists.
If you look at what he does for Liverpool, the whole package, when he's on form, he's the best right back in the world. And everyone who ever seen the match will tell you that.
Yeah, I you know what's interesting with the way he's played right back. He's sort of changed, especially when we're winning. He changed the mentality that coaches have when it comes to having a right back. Everybody kind of wanted the Trent. Everybody was just like, I
want a Trent like right back.
Yeah, but now this season though, it's like, okay, Trent has only been able to succeed because of the whole Liverpool structure, and maybe we don't need that if we don't have that structure type of thing. And that's what Gareth Southgate is also doing as well. He's just like, we don't need the Trent.
This is what I was going to say, right? In terms of, I can't remember who said it, but I would personally like another right back who is directly opposing of what Trent's strengths are, so that we have the versatility to change how we play should we need to. Do you know what I mean? I don't need someone who's a Trent like 2.0. I need someone who then would be able to like, and if we had say like a War, or depends who we then go for our midfield, then we can have actual midfield options where we don't need to rely on the creativity of, you know what I'm saying? Just change it up a little bit. Have, and then that way you're having teams like, what they're going to play, which way they're going to go. Do you know what I mean? You've got Trent, and then we're playing that way. We're not having to always rely on, well, this is a lot of games this season has just been like, I know it's not working now, but keep going and we'll get it.
So if you could find a way to say to Trent, don't worry about defensive responsibilities, do you think you get the best out of him?
No.
Say that again, Steve. Say that again.
If you could find a way to say to Trent, what I want you to do is the creative part of your game, not worry so much about your defensive responsibilities, do what you do well, do you think his form improves?
No. Do you see that? Do you remember the last time we played Trent in centre midfield?
I don't mean that. I mean,
I want to play him in centre mid.
We're going to have a lot of centre backs on the books come the end of the season because we've all forgotten Ben Davies is there. When they signed Ben Davies, he's a left-sided central defender that's playing in 3. If you play 3 centre backs, Fabinho sitting in front of them, and you say to Robbo and Trent, go and be wing backs, they don't have to worry so much about what they do defensively. That has got to be something worth considering than sitting in pods like this and reading the newspapers and seeing Sky Sports where everybody's looking for weaknesses and things to play again instead of celebrating what we do well. Well, give the guy a chance. Change the way we play, because we can't play the way we've been playing for 3 years indefinitely, because teams will find a way to sort of stop us being so effective.
Steve, I even have have another question to consider that's more. That's also kind of tactical. What do you guys think about Mane switching wings with Salah? Because we know Salah drops back, but not the same way as Mane.
But with Salah, then you might be weakening him, and you don't want to weaken Salah, really.
And the relationship that Mane has with Robbo and that is I
don't think Salah suits the left wing.
Mane shouldn't be in the team at the moment.
Mane shouldn't be on the team. Yeah, he shouldn't. Is that what you said?
I agree.
Bobby offers more than Mane does at the moment. So it shouldn't be Jota, Bobby and Salah. That should be the front three.
This is interesting because last week we're talking about how Bobby is kind of like, we're ready for him to leave. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, we'll take.
I'll tell you why.
we're ready for Gini Wijnaldum to leave, and we're making him captain. So we don't. We are everyone's there. Like,
Vinci, that's not changed. That's not changed. Bobby's still not given us what he's given us in years gone by, and it might be that it's time to look at his role within the team. But right now, on current form, we're carrying Sadio Mane. So get him out of the team for a break. Make sure that he knows that he's not sort of indispensable. There is a way to play without him. Put Jota in there, who is hungry, his movement's great, his conversion rate's really good, as Saint pointed out before. And say to Bobby, right, this is your chance to play for a place in the team for next season. What have we got to lose by having that conversation?
The only problem with what Vinci said a minute ago is why we switching around like from Firmino to Mane. The reason why I would have Firmino gone before Mane is because Firmino's been in this rough patch of form for, if you even want to call it form, for a lot longer than Mane. Mane's had over a year. Yeah, it's not like Firmino hasn't had a good few years at Liverpool. He has, but it's just this whole rough patch that we're going through as a team. He's been going through it personally for like, I'd say almost 18 months. Mane for me is just this season, but it's been very bad from both of them, obviously.
Right. I get you what you're saying, Sonny, and I think to some degree you're spot on. But what we're seeing at the moment is when we're getting into the final third and we're pushing the ball out wide, where we've been doing the damage for 3 years, we're getting nothing from Mane. There's nothing coming back from the lad at all. If you put Jota there, Salah's top goal scorer. So Salah's not in the conversation about whether he plays or he doesn't. He's the guy going to win the Golden Boot as things are. But put Jota in where Mane is. Take Mane out. Give him a break for a bit, because that might be what he needs, so he doesn't feel like he's indispensable. And then we're left with Origi or Bobby, aren't we? Surely everyone in this pod says it's got to be Bobby over Origi or play long.
Yeah.
I think we've got a deeper. I think if we're honest as a fan base, we've got a deeper conversation to be had about Manny. Like with a year left on his after next year, with a year left on his contract, with him being 29, like not to say that that's old or nothing, but if he has another season like he's had this season, boy.
You know what hurts me though, saying I'm a massive fan of Mane,
so
but I don't know what, like on Tuesday
he's broken though.
It's like when you're so mad, but at the same time you love the guy so much, and you're just confused. You don't know. You can't cuss because you're just like, man, like it's like, what the hell are you doing?
An explanation of how bad Mane's been is like he's literally known for like beating his man, getting past his player. I cannot remember the last time he beat his man and got past a player.
Yeah, I can't.
Seriously,
I can't.
Like in the middle,
just keep going down all
on the side. It doesn't matter.
He won't go down in the box when he's getting clapped. So go and see.
Yeah, true.
The measure down outside the now would be to take the sentiment out of this, because we all love Mane. Take the sentiment out of it and play players based on form. And if you take the sentiment away, Mane doesn't get anywhere near the first 11.
For me with Mane and Firmino, though, I think it's. I wouldn't even say one's better than the other. I know when he said the whole wing and stuff, but it's still a front three. I think if we have Mane on the wing, then we get less there. But if we have Firmino in the middle, then we get less there. I get it that we might have more on the wings, but I think it's genuinely like 0 and 0 for Firmino and Mane right now.
Yeah, I honestly
think Firmino's better than him at the moment. I ain't gonna lie.
What were we saying, Ryan? Sorry, go ahead.
I think Firmino's better than him at the moment.
Absolutely.
He's not saying much.
It's not by much, no, but yeah.
So gents, like Mane gets on the score sheet again, right? I know we've been talking about the depressing game on Real Madrid. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know if it makes any sense talking about Arsenal. That was just like you know when you just bring your hopes up just to mess you up.
We're back in the top 4, man. I remember saying last week we've got more chance of top 4. I think we can still get top 4, and I think we still can get it. I think we're in a good position at the moment to be able to get top 4.
I ain't getting my hopes up, man. I ain't getting my hopes.
I'm not getting my hopes. No, but I think we're back in with a really, really good chance of getting it.
Technically, we are. Technically, we are. But I don't know.
On paper. So do you guys honestly think this is the last season for Salah? Like I know me and Raiyaan have talked about how Liverpool might not die if he goes. I mean, we know that, but and he's probably not our favorite player. But I have come around to saying that his effort I have seen, like for example, right when he played against Arsenal, I knew Arsenal were in trouble the moment Salah had his first touch on the ball. And you know when you have those games where he does the one touch and then he runs and moves quickly. Yeah, he did that. And I was like, okay, he's in the mood today to actually mess them up. So, like, for me, I saw that on Arsenal and I saw a bit of frustration. And I can't even blame Salah for Tuesday. But, like, and he got on the score sheet. So what else do we want? Like, he gave us the away goal. But do you guys think it's the last season with Mane? With Salah, sorry.
Well, for me, if it's our decision, she should be the last one gone because this season's proved with Salah can play with different midfields, different attackers. He could do it with any player. So if we were to get rid of like a Mane, Firmino, get money, bring a different player in, Salah's proved he'll still perform. So,
but he's the guy that gets you the most money right now. He's the guy that brings in the most money.
That's the thing. But then we still have Mane and Firmino.
That's the thing. But this is what I'm saying. Yeah, is yes to Sonny. Trust me, big up there. And even on Tuesday, right? If you watch Salah's game in the second half, yes, he dropped deeper. He played one tasty through ball to Mane. Like Mane checked it again, obviously. Like it's just, bro. Like he does actually like when you actually clock it and like he says, take sentiment out of it and you just watch it. He does actually bring more. Like even though sometimes, again, like Ryan says, there was certain times there was one with Casemiro, didn't even have to do much. He just literally took it off his toes. I was like, brother, like I hear where you're coming from, but then
no techers
that will slap the goal. I don't know. I hear that. I'm not gonna sit here and back that. I hear that, bro. But at the same time, he's the one of all of them that I knew was going to slap the goal, and he did. Do you see what I'm saying? Mane, right, will fetch you goal. Mane will fetch you goal. If the only thing is, there has to be someone who wants to buy him, and then right now it's a bit techie because of like Aguero's on a free and Haaland and all of this. But really and truly, we were shrewd and we could get. This is the time, man. Because like I said, if you leave money, he has another season like he's had this season, bro. What's he then worth?
I would give Mane till January next season. Like, if it came to January and Mane hasn't improved, I'd be ready to get rid of him then.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so wait, boys, to wrap up this horrible Champions League first leg, would you say, like, at this point of the Champions League, would you say that the stage is too big for this Liverpool side, or do you think we've bitten more than we can chew with Real Madrid?
Do you mean like, are we gonna get through or not?
Yeah, I'm saying like, do you think that this next leg we can do something? Like
for me, we're gone. Anfield's not even Anfield anymore. It's just a stadium because without
Anfield, are we?
If we want any chance of going through against Madrid, any chance we got of going through, we need to beat Aston Villa on Saturday because we need the Anfield win. We really need that. We need to get this Anfield thing out of our heads. Where if we get the Anfield win, finally that run of defeats is over, and that's the only chance I can see us having.
I don't even think it's that. I just think Anfield just literally isn't Anfield. I just think without.
Oh fans, I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean, Sonny, 100%. But even they just need to get this Anfield thing out their heads, man. 6 week defeats in a row at Anfield, man. I think they'll beat Villa on Saturday as well. I have to be honest. I think they'll win because I think they'll be up for revenge after the 7th.
I think Madrid will score. I think Madrid will score against Liverpool. Because that back line doesn't belong in the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
I think we'll win. I think we'll win a game. I think we'll back tie.
I can see that. I think. I can see that.
I'd rather just lose. I'd hate that.
Can you see us winning?
I'm actually afraid to make a prediction. Because I don't know which Liverpool side's gonna turn up. That's the problem. I don't know if the high intensity Liverpool is going to show up. I don't know. If that shows up, then I think we stand a chance. I'm not saying we're going to win outrightly. I think we stand a massive chance. If those guys in the middle of the park are shut down and we only allow Casemiro to distribute the balls, that's fine. But if we're going to look at it and just get lazy and not want to die on the pitch, we're going to be beaten 3-0. Because to be honest, it should have been more. So it's one of those that I'm just like, I don't know what team's going to show up. And to make things worse, right, I feel like we're in a situation right now where we've got two teams that we should be getting revenge on. Like Aston Villa's coming up on Saturday, this weekend. And we've got Real Madrid again to face, and we're at the verge of being kicked out. And we've got Aston Villa that smashed us 7-2. And that's the only result that holds against us because we had full squad against them. So we have no excuse. So
they don't look at it that way, Vinci. They don't look at it that way. Revenge isn't a word that they'll be using around the squad, around the club. Because if you turn it into a revenge, you take your focus off what you're supposed to be doing in terms of your game plan, and it becomes forced, and it becomes unrelaxed, and it becomes tense, and that you can't play football being those things. So they've been very quick to shut down that word revenge, particularly with regards to Real Madrid.
I reckon Trent looks at it
I
like
think
that.
there'll still be that thing in the players where they'll be like, they'll really want to avenge that 7-2, kind of put it right. I think there will be that in the players that day, if I'm being honest. You know, that losing 7-2 as Premier League champions, it hurt us. Imagine how much it would have hurt them.
Oh, it's mad. It was mad.
It was a bloody embarrassment.
Mad game. Mad game.
You know, Steve, you mentioned a valid point in terms of like how it would be communicated to the boys. But you know what's interesting, right? Like back in the day, right, when you'd watch, for example, when during Ferguson era and stuff, or Arsenal when they had the Invincibles and them, and even Liverpool, when it gets to a point where you've got the Jamie Carragers, you've got the Steven Gerrards, they're there. They don't forget humiliating defeats. They don't. So it's like the coach does this thing and comes in and is like, okay, here's the tactics type of thing. And then when the coach leaves, right, that's when the leadership and the captain comes in and is like, look, boys, we're not getting smashed. We're gonna deal with this, boys. That's what's gonna be there. I don't know who's gonna do that right now.
But in the point you've just made, Carragher and Gerrard, they played for the badge, they played for the club, they played for the fans, they loved the club, they loved being part of the Liverpool team. We've got a bunch of players playing the team now that you can't necessarily say that's the same for all of them.
Our captain's leaving.
They like playing for the club, but they don't love it in the same way that Steven Gerrard did, so they don't get the same reaction.
Steve, I think Milner's got to do something. I think
he won't get in it. He can't play, mate. He's playing on the stretch too much. That game would pass him by.
It would do more than Keita would do, though.
Yeah,
so that's true. That's true. But it should be Thiago for Keita, shouldn't it? Not Milner.
Yeah,
definitely, boys. Anyways, moving on. So let's move on to Aston Villa. Right? What are your thoughts? Do you care about the game? Is it like, okay, should we focus on that for top four?
I think it's a massive game, bro. I genuinely think it's a massive game because, like I said, I still think we've got a genuine chance of top four. And I feel like, because our away form in the league is decent at the moment. You know, we've won, I think it's like 4 of our last 5 away games in the league. So away from home, we're doing all right. If we were to just get that one home win, because that's the most important thing, just get that one home win against Aston Villa, it removes, you can finally get rid of that Anfield record. It finally ends, you know, you've got the Anfield win. And it could give them confidence and get that out of their heads for the rest of the season to be able to get a few results for top 4, man. So I think it's a big game to be, and I think they'll win. To be fair, I think we'll win.
It's one of those things where obviously it's a massive game. Like I want to win, but I can't be asked to get invested in this team again. Like for at least this season, anyway, because I know that if we win this game, I still know we haven't got top 4. Even though technically we should be really in the race, I still don't trust this team to be that much in the race.
You know what? Right? Sorry, no. Were you gonna go?
Go ahead, Saint.
I'm due to do my my preview. So obviously, come over to Saint LFC TV. I'll check that out. So yeah. With that said, I did some research, obviously, and I think it's gonna be 0-0. If I'm honest with you, bro, because like no team's kept more clean sheets away from home than them. That's 8. And check this one. We've scored once in the 6 defeats at home, right? But excluding pens and own goals, we haven't scored in our last 115 shots at home. Like, let that sink in.
I'm going bed.
And they are the best team in the league at keeping clean sheets away from home. Like, bro, it's got 0-0 written all over it.
Well, if you give those stats, obviously you're being optimistic by saying 0-0. But those stats point towards like Liverpool.
No, but I mean, there's no, but then
Liverpool holding on to the 0-0.
Also, if they score 2 goals, they can't score 2 goals. If they score 2 goals, they then overtake Man City as the team that scored the most against us in the whole Premier League season. Techie for us, bro. Like, it's techie for us. Like, we need to. At the end of the day, I do think I agree with Raiyaan now, bro. I'm on board, man. I'm sitting right next to you in it. This league season is important, bro. Like, I think it's more important than I think we have to just take each game as it comes. And if we can sneak a little 1-0, it definitely ain't gonna be more than 1-0. I don't think. But if we can sneak a little 1-0 or something, then just keep chugging, and hopefully
the 3 points.
Yeah, man. I think we can possibly do this though.
Steve, I want to hear your thoughts because you know it's so interesting to hear the tone and the energy in our voices. We don't have the same bravado and confidence in this Liverpool squad like we did back then. Right now we're a bit edgy on our predictions even against like an Aston Villa side, you know. So, like, what are your thoughts, like, with regards to how we go in with Aston Villa?
I think we mirror our teammates. I think our lack of confidence in our performances comes as a direct result of the team showing a lack of confidence in their own performances. We're kind of mirroring what we're seeing on the pitch. So, am I confident we get a result against Aston Villa? No, I'm not. 12 months ago, would I have been confident we get a result against Aston Villa? Absolutely. But I've said many, many times when we've spoken about this, our whole system, our whole functionality is broken. So we talk about Trent, and we spent a lot of time talking about Trent. He's had 8 different central defenders play alongside him. That's not conducive to being consistent yourself because all of those players give you something different in terms of communication, in terms of their ability. It's a mess. I think what you do is you get a big marker and you draw a big circle around the league, you draw a big cross through it, you throw it away and start again next season. That's all we can do. So in terms of being a fan, am I confident we get a result against Aston Villa? I think they've only scored 2 goals in like 4,000 minutes or something in the Premier League. So Saints' points and stats are quite telling. I'd like to think we can win the game, but I'm not confident. And I think that goes for pretty much every Liverpool fan on the planet right now.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing is, I think you say that about Villa only scoring 2 goals, you know, not scoring a lot recently. It's because they've had Grealish out, and I think Grealish is back for Saturday. So,
and they still slapped Fulham. They still slapped Fulham.
What? Grealish? They still slapped Fulham. Yeah, they scored 3 against Fulham, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was the first goals they'd scored for weeks.
So they're coming off a thingy with Grealish on there. Can I ask you something, yeah? Quick one, right?
Yeah.
Just off the back of what we've been saying, Mane's 8 goals in 7 games against Villa. Do we pay him?
That's a fantastic question.
That's a great question.
I think the statistics for me. I'm an eye guy, right? Statistics. But
that's some stat though. That is some
statistics backs Mane, but in terms of form and my eyes, man, I don't pick him.
Forget about his stats against Villa.
I've never been a fan of. Would you play a player based on the fact he always scores against them? For me, you're only as good as your last game. To be fair, and I'm not into this. Oh, man, he scored this many goals against Villa in the past. You know, he's in bad form. Like Steve says,
2 of them were against under 12s.
What, man?
2 of them were against under 12s.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah,
That don't
no,
even
but
count.
one of
Yeah,
them,
get that out of the way, innit?
but let's not do that, Sonny, because one of them was ridiculous with the head, 90th minute. Yeah, remember that one? Yeah, look away.
That
Exactly.
season,
but
yeah,
that's Mane's probably broken every stat he's had this season, so stats are relevant now.
That is true. That is true. That is
You know
true.
what I mean, man?
Yeah. So Steve, would you start him if you're Klopp
No,
with that stats in mind?
no, because
Steve, you're not convinced at
current
all, are
form
you?
away that psychologically in terms of does he look like he's on it? Does he look like he's sharp? Does he look like he's capable of scoring goals at the moment? The answer to all of those things is no. I would play Jota, Firmino, and Salah with the view to playing them on in the midweek game against Real Madrid. I think Mane needs to come out of the team for a period.
Yeah, he needs to go to the mountain and find himself again.
Absolutely.
I agree with Steve, right? I agree with Steve. I think that he should be left out for those three. However, if he does choose to play him, he should be feeding him that. He should be ingraining that. Brother, you've got these, man. You know what? You need something. Like, you needed something. I would be going into sleep. Like, you've got these man on toast. But I agree. He shouldn't be anywhere near the first team.
So boys, who do we put? Okay, so we talked about the front line. The front line is never too hard. Now midfield, that's what I'm interested in hearing. Who goes in midfield?
Same team, same midfield that finished against Real Madrid.
Our strongest midfield.
Jones.
It's got a knock.
Adi. Oh, okay. All right.
No. Jones doesn't come back for me. He's good. Don't get me wrong, but Jones doesn't come back. I put Keita before Jones, but
What? Are you what? What?
Absolutely.
Really?
What? Yeah.
Jones hasn't had a performance like Keita's performance this season.
Oh, come on.
That's
just one performance that he wasn't running. He's been injured.
I don't care. Jones still hasn't put up a performance like that. He has actually been, prior to being not in the team, was arguably probably like midfielder of the season for us.
Yeah, I know a lot of people love Jones, and I don't hate him, but let's.
I don't even love him like that, but you cannot say that Keita over, like, brother. Give Jones
let's put things into perspective. Come on, man. Keita, on a good day, Keita is definitely going.
But when's that good day, man?
When's that day, bro?
Let's not act like Jones hasn't had bad games. Jones has had bad games. Like
Jones has I think, if I'm right, 3 man of the matches. Thingy. Where's Keita's, bro? What's Keita's? When's his good day? When it's always raining on Keita.
I'm not backing Keita because he's had a terrible game. He's not had a lot of game for experience. First of all, Curtis Jones has been fitter, I will admit, and he's got more experience this season. That, to be fair,
and to your own thing,
in terms of what they offer on paper, I'm not going to put Jones before Keita on paper.
Yeah,
but it's all on paper. That's the problem.
Football ain't played on paper. You said.
I know.
You said about yourself, you're only as good as your last game.
Fair.
By that sentiment,
Naby Keita needs to go then, innit?
Fair. Okay. But if we're going by that logic, then why is Gini starting? Why isn't Milner starting? Because he's only as good as his last game. Milner was amazing against Arsenal last time he played.
Arsenal were terrible.
Yeah,
Arsenal were terrible.
Arsenal were terrible.
Danny Ceballos and these guys.
So he's as old as Modric and them, man, but he ain't got the technical ability like them, man. Do you understand? However, to be very, very honest with you, if I'm honest, I would have played him because I don't need him in that side, in that midfield, to have technical ability. I know if he was in that side, Modric ain't got the time and space to be doing them things and telling the man, yo, I'm gonna do it with curl and yo, where do you want it? Like, no one's there. But,
exactly. Say that's it. At this point, do you know what I want to see on the midfield? I don't want to see. I don't need to see Zidane in the midfield. I just want to see somebody chase down the balls like Henderson would. I want to see passion and determination. That's it. And I'm sorry, Gini is not giving me that now.
But no, but it's not just Genie's fault. It's this whole thing that Klopp and the club have, where it's like the most played games is captain. Like we need to scrap that, man. Our captain is leaving this summer. We need to just scrap it.
Yeah, facts. Gents, it's obviously been a terrible week. Well, terrible this week for us. And to be honest, we could use a good result in the weekend just to motivate us for Real Madrid. I could see that, our spirits, are a bit low, but hopefully we get it better. Thank you so much for your time. We've just reaching the 1 hour mark. Any last words? Any last advice? Do you want to shout out in frustration? Do you want to cuss?
When you said motivation for Real Madrid, I don't care if we beat Villa 3-0, 5-0. I'm not getting motivated for that Real Madrid game. Not like I did for that last one there, man.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I'd get motivated. Really I'm just saying if we've got any, we have to beat Villa.
What was that, Ryan?
If we want any chance of beating, if we want any chance of beating Real Madrid, we've got to beat Aston Villa on Saturday, in my opinion.
Yeah. Personally speaking, I see there could be a correlation in terms of motivation and obviously setting things up. But like I said, this Liverpool team, we could see a very trashy Liverpool team, and then they will come to Real Madrid and want to die and cut themselves in the pitch. So I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see, won't we, which Liverpool team turns up. That's what we're
unfortunately, yeah.
Exactly. Gents, it's been an honor. It's been great. Real quick, just let people know where they can find you really quick. We can start with Steve, because you're on my right.
So you can get me at Red Sky Pods. That's where you find me these days. Come and have a look. Come and join in. It'd be nice to get some of you on the channel. Come and check that out, because we're putting quite a lot of content out at the moment.
All right. Thank you so much. You know where to find Steve and Sonny.
LFC Sonny on Twitter, Instagram, and the Liverpool Addiction on YouTube. And if you want to know why I'm negative about this whole Real Madrid thing, check out my preview for the Real Madrid game. Saint even warned me. I should have listened, but I didn't.
Right. So those watching, check out Sonny's preview. He was.
I mean, you don't need to. You don't need to.
I mean, you can see why he sounds like this, so you could get the backstory. Everything's context. Yeah. All right. Saint, tell us where we can see you.
Instagram, Saint LFC TV, Twitter, LFC_Saint, and on YouTube, Saint LFC TV. Come join the party over there, man. Good times.
All right.
Not.
Thank you so much, Saint. You know where to catch him. And Raiyaan, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me mostly in Sarcasm City on the Q&As that we do a couple of times a week. I've got one in about an hour or so on there with Flawless. So, you can catch me on that. And you can catch me on Twitter at Raiyaan_K1.
Okay, I thought you were going to say you could catch me in the club. I'm just joking. So, Vinchi Codino here. Catch me, Kopping Mechanisms every Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen watching, smash a like, subscribe if you're new, and see you next week. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Peace.